The concept of welfare and equilibrium. Welfare and equilibrium are different concepts, although they are frequently confused with each other. We define welfare as the state of well-being of the persons comprising an economic system. We have defined equilibrium as a state of rest, a position from which there is either no incentive or no opportunity to move. Welfare. Most economic analysis is concerned with the welfare aspects. Welfare constitutes a major problem. The Pareto optimal situation, in which no one can be made better off without making someone else worse off, is the welfare of a group is much more difficult to handle. We are left with a group welfare concept known as Pareto optimum. Pareto optimal situation exists when no event can increase the well-being of one person without decreasing the well-being of someone else. Equilibrium. Equilibrium concepts are important not because equilibrium positions are ever in fact attained, but because this concept shows us the direction in which economic process move. When equilibrium positions are stable, as they have been assumed to be throughout this book, economic units in this equilibrium move toward equilibrium positions. Partial equilibrium. Partial equilibrium analysis is a large part of analytical structure that
So, my report is about the theory of general equilibrium. The French economist Leon Walras, 1834 to 1910, was the first to design a model of general equilibrium, a purely competitive economy. Walras' model have constructed of refinements, but no radical modifications. Walras' general equilibrium model is a simple, that is to say, the economic ideas that are its building blocks are simple, modern versions of them. Price. Price is devised to many students of economics. It is indeed quite possible to simplify that in mathematics. Walras' model of how to follow is literally a word used with scorn by the Italian economist Wilfredo, 1848 to 1923. So, ang economist that Wilfredo in 1848 to 1923 who also contributed to the mathematics of general equilibrium theory. Then, mathematics, it gives a vision of independence of prices that is clear, precise in detail, complete and self-checking in its logical consistency. The firms sell commodities to the households, which in turn sells resources, or factors of production, that is labor and the service of land and equipment, to the firms. Then, limitations of the model. A model has its limitations. Walrasian model is simplified that describe here has several model of an economy with fair competition in all markets. Then, model static. It operates with the assumption of fixed taste and coefficients of production, and allows the process of change over time. The households and the firms in general are busy enough, but they everlastingly consume and produce exactly the same things, in exactly the same way, and exactly the same proportions. Everything happens instantaneously, as in electric circuits. The effects of theories to construct the markets of dynamic system of relative prices. Hicks and a little beyond will trust because they have developed theory of what happens when changes occur in interlinked demands, supplies, and prices. Siya daw nag-develop sa mga demands, supplies, and prices. The simplest has less serious limitations, but its fixed production coefficients can be removed and more intricate models. More complicated models can also be constructed to certain increasing and decreasing returns to skill, money, and securities, and even certain forms of imperfect computation. Uses of general equilibrium theory. Despite their limitations, despite their of unreality models, even the simplest of the general equilibrium of prices, have important uses: efficiency and tendency. Those praise private enterprise point for cost of production to be low, to the responsiveness productions of wants to consumer. So, ang socialist and communist, those who have found serious fault with private enterprises. Then, ang private enterprises daw of economy is a chaotic and unplanned system. The simple general equilibrium model is a model of private enterprises system at rest, of all the consumers and producers having made their best adjustments. But remember, maximize satisfaction means no more than the maximum attainable under the circumstances. Whatever it might be, the economy might be poor with meager resources, a private market, and the eager pursuit of self-interest, then the poor economy would still approach the maximum satisfaction. So the entrepreneurs in Walras model are drones. They control no prices, they exert no power over other persons, they fulfill no social responsibilities. In fact, their singular functions of innovations and rest takers, entrepreneurs do not exist at all in Walras model. So, ang general equilibrium theory has punished the acceptual foundation which was created by Wesley Lathrop of Harvard University. Then input ug output analysis is the statistical measurement of the input and output of all industries together, an interdependent system of commodity flows. Input and output has been developed far, lending itself while planning both for mobilizations and economic development of countries and regions.
The conditions of optimal welfare. Optimal welfare conditions are usually grouped into three sets. First is consists of the conditions leading to maximum. Consists of the conditions of maximum efficiency, consumer welfare, and maximum productive efficiency. Maximum consumer welfare affects supplies. The conditions of maximum consumer welfare with fixed supplies of goods and services for time units. For example, movement from distribution D to distribution E increases the welfare of both. Once the contact curve distribution is achieved, any further exchanges can benefit only one consumer at the expenses of the other. Any point of the contract curve represents a Pareto optimal distribution of X and Y between the two consumers. This is the graph of optimum consumer welfare effect supplies. So, the conditions of efficiency, no internalities. Maximum efficiency is production referred to Pareto optimality in production processes. Given the supplies of resources available, these must be allocated among the production of goods and services in such a way that the production of any one good cannot be increased unless the production of other decrease. For example, this graph, figure 86. Fixed supplies of resources A and B are used in the production of products X and Y. Any distribution of resources between the two products that lie on the contract curve, such as E is more reference and point to the contract curve represent the maximum efficiency allocate of resources.
Effect of externalities. If externalities in production occurs in the production of a good, the contract curve may no longer shows the condition of maximum efficiency. Second, congested facilities represent a very common type of externality. For example, that highway
highway, along with other resources, are used by the producers of wheat and also by the producers of automobiles, for getting their commodities to consumers. Initially, these two groups of users caused the highways to be congested to the extent that transportation delays. In figure 87, the marginal rate of a technical substitution between highway facilities and other resources is the same for producer of rice and producer of automobiles. At this point, but this allocation of resources is not necessarily optimal. And the efficiency in exchange. The first problem is the degree efficiency in exchange, and that is the optimum distribution of the two commodities of between two persons. Assume that the two persons engage in barter transaction in the absence of money and price. The problem is the old and important. That's all. Thank you.